Hello everybody, welcome back to another movie review. Today we'll be discussing Last Seen Alive, I believe an original on Netflix, or maybe just on Netflix. But I just finished watching it, so you know what we will do. I'll give you my overall grade and impressions. Then if you have not seen the movie and would like to see the movie, you're going to want to shut off the video. So we'll be doing plot synopsis and character development, talking about how the plot develops, how the characters change, if they do, and then any major theme. There's certainly a major theme in this one that we'll get to at the end. But the overview says, Last Seen Alive, 2022, an hour and 36-minute runtime. After Will Spahn's wife suddenly vanishes at a gas station, his desperate search to find her leads him down a dark path that forces him to run from authorities and take the law into his own hands. So we have Gerard Butler, not Ricky Gervais, but first time noticing Gerard Butler's Scottish. Could not pick that up from a law-abiding citizen. And I'm sure I've seen him in other movies. But that was the first time I realized that he was not an American. So that's pretty interesting. Just from, again, it's always amazing to be seeing actors. Again, like, the biggest one for me was Hugh Laurie on House. Big fan of that show. Watched it for years and years and years. I watched an interview with him, he's British. I'm like, what the fuck? So that always makes me laugh. But wow, we had 15% on Rotten Tomatoes. We had 5.6 out of 10 on IMDb, and 71% of Google users liked this. So typically, the Google users are a lot higher than Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb. 71% is even low for Google users. But I liked it. I'll give it a B+. I thought Gerard Butler was convincing. I thought the acting at the very beginning was a little weak. I'll give it a B+. But it's typical criticism. A lot of people say, the acting's not very good. It's like, typically it's like I want to investigate the writing. I want to explore the storyline as opposed to like, the acting could be really good or it could be really shit. If it's really shit, it could be like funny. But most people aren't extensive movie critics. Would just say, blah, blah, blah. But I swear, dude, it's a 14-year-old girl who's just saying, we don't like anything, and so that's the cool thing, is to not like anything. But for an action drama, mystery drama, action drama, I liked it. It's entertaining. Certainly the plot line wasn't super novel by any means. The guy's wife gets kidnapped and has to, just explore to try to find and save her. So again, nothing super unique or novel. I like Gerard Butler as the badass kind of guy, and I thought it was done decently well. So B+. So if you've not watched the movie and would like to see an action thriller without a super novel plot line, but I thought it was a decent movie to watch for an hour and a half, I recommend Last Seen Alive. If you have not watched the movie, now we'll break down the plot synopsis and character development. So Will Spahn and his wife, they're driving. The first opening scene, you get a Detective Patterson being a guy in the back of the car saying, where's the woman, where's Lisa? And he says she's dead. And then you get a cutback scene, and the whole movie takes place over the course of 8 hours or so. And so Will Spahn and Lisa Spahn are married. They are driving to Lisa's house, Lisa's parents' house, Barry Adams and Anna Adams, and they're going on a break. So Will Spahn is a successful real estate developer. Lisa, I don't know if you're still really getting any occupational characterization for her, but I think she busted that clam open for somebody named Clint. So Will did not cheat on Lisa. Lisa busted it open for somebody else. Will fought through that, but now Lisa still wants to go on a break, so they're going to her parents' house. So they go to the parents' house. Well, they don't go to the parents' house. They're approaching the parents' house. They're about 15 minutes out, talking back and forth in the car. Lisa's set on having a separation or a break, and she wants to run into the gas station. Will has to drop off has to get some gas. Lisa's like, we're only 15 minutes from the parents' house. But once they get to the gas station, she goes in there to get some water. Will pumps some gas. When she comes back out, you see her talking to another dude off on the side, and when Will turns around, she's gone. So Will, your typical thing where it's like, she's just in the bathroom, checks the bathroom, checks all around the gas station, asks the attending person, Oscar, who is, ironically, I told you I was going to watch Mayans. He's like the head dude in Mayans, like the head of the motorcycle club in Mayans. What's his name? Michael Irby, definitely a main character in Mayans, which will be my next video thing. Today was my last day at Netflix, hopping over to Hulu for some more crime dramas. But Oscar is the attending gas station clerk. He's like, I didn't see her, at least I don't remember, I don't know anything about her. And so Will's frantic. He drives to the parents' house to see maybe if she walked or ran or got picked up by a friend or something. So, goes into Barry and Anna's house, the Adams family's house, and he's all frantic. In this scene, I thought that the acting was rather weak. Was just the initial reactions of the parents, whoever played Barry and Anna Adams. But Will's freaking out. Like, have you seen her? Has anyone talked to her? Call her friends. And then once he leaves, you get the father and mother kind of suspecting of Will. But Will immediately at the gas station had called the parents. He was told by the police it's going to take some time to have someone come out there. Goes to the parents' house and goes back to the gas station. And so the police show up at the gas station. They question Will a little bit, like, why did you leave? We told you to stay. They go inside to talk to Oscar. Oscar says the surveillance camera was broken and didn't work. And so Detective Patterson collects a couple things from Will of Lisa's personal belongings, her purse and her laptop. And he drives back there, and Detective Patterson and Will are like, we'll stay in contact, let us know if you hear anything from both sides. So Detective Patterson leaves, and then Will goes outside and looks at the security camera and sees it blinking and realizes it's working. And so he goes over to Oscar, strong arms him. Oscar's like, no, it doesn't work. Goes behind the counter, roughs him up a little bit, and he takes the surveillance footage. Takes it to Detective Patterson. They use their technology, they rewind the footage, and they see Lisa getting into the car with the dude that Will didn't see when it happened. And so, basically, they see her getting into a car, talking to somebody. The family recognizes the people. I think this is at the house. I don't know if it's the police station or whatnot. But the family recognizes Knuckles, a nickname for a dude, a handyman that was working on the house, and used to know Lisa in school. And so on the security footage, you see her talking to a dude, see her getting into a car, and then walking over to a car, and then a big truck parks in front of the security, and one time the truck leaves, she's gone. And so Will, at that point, it's not clear in the plot to me why Will doesn't immediately call Detective Patterson, but he takes it into his own hands. But again, as a tight plotter, as a writer, it's like, make the plot develop in a different way as opposed to, Detective Patterson's been responsive, unlike any of the cops I've ever met. But it's not clear as in the writing as to why Will would not tell Detective Patterson exactly when he learns of the address for Knuckles. Regardless, Will goes there. He breaks into Knuckles' house, just like a rundown trailer area. And they go back and forth. Will has a tire iron, and Knuckles has a hammer for a little bit. They wrestle for a gun that's hidden in Knuckles' nightstand or just end table. Will knocks out Knuckles or beats him up, roughs him up, gets the gun, gets control, ties him up, throws him in the back of the truck. And after beating him up a little bit, he's like, I took Lisa. He admits to kidnapping Lisa, and then he tells him it's at this guy's name's Frank's place. And so Will ties up Knuckles, and he's going to go to Frank's to rescue Lisa. On the way there, he gets pulled over for speeding. And so, you have a scene where it's like, hopefully he can just, a little blood on the shirt, hiding a gun, hiding the crowbar. Hopefully he can get away from a traffic stop with just a warning for the speeding ticket. The detective, I don't know if it's Sergeant Anderson, I think that was a female, there's another minor role for a police officer. But once he asks him to pop the trunk, Will just takes off into the woods, and he was rather close to Frank's place, so runs a couple miles, tells us, Frank, it looks like, again, another trailer park area where they're cooking meth, and, maybe doing some kidnapping or some other drugs, but it looks like a meth habit, or a little meth commune, where it's like, 4 or 5 trailers, but like a little setup park where it's not just like one building or one trailer. And so Will finds that, he bypasses, he talks through a guy, one of the lookouts, the security guys, basically just like Will's like, I'm here for Frank. If you don't let me through, Frank's gonna be mad at you. He's like, oh, all right, like go on in. And so that's like a pretty big area. So he gets up there, he starts creeping around. He takes out a dude, like knocks out a dude that has a double-barrel shotgun, sawed-off shotgun. So he's creeping around, finds Frank, Larry, and also Oscar pulls up, and he leaves. Just Knuckles is just left in the back of the car with the police officer. So he gets into a little gunfight action. He first he's like open this. They're in this like a bigger kind of warehouse area. They have these big shipping containers. He's like open the container. So Larry opens the container. And there's a shotgun on the wall. So then there's a little shootout. Larry gets clipped real quick, and then Frank and Will hunt each other around to this warehouse area. Will kind of pops off some desk pops, just like sprays a little bit, hits Frank. So Frank is dead. Yeah, he's dead when he gets hit, which doesn't make Will happy because he still has not found Lisa, but Frank is now dead. And so he goes back outside. He's kind of like telling the junkies to disperse, leave. Oscar pops out of the same kind of warehouse area that was just where Frank and Larry got killed. But when Frank and Will were going back and forth, the meth area starts to catch on fire. So you have some premonition that the building's going to blow up pretty soon. And so Will and Oscar kind of go back and forth. Again, Oscar doesn't seem like a hardened criminal. And the criminality of Frank and Larry seems to be just like meth heads, where it's not like profoundly organized crime, but just like, a neighborhood gang or, slight criminal activity with a meth operation. And so Oscar's not like a super hardened criminal. He's kind of shaky with the gun. Will and Oscar both, in a standoff. They put the guns down. They talk about it. Oscar wants $20,000. I don't know if it's to tell him where Lisa is. I think it's to tell him where Lisa is. But yeah, that's about it. And then the building blows up and it kills Oscar. So Oscar gets killed by the explosion. Then you also have at the same time like a flashback. Like the opening scene was the scene when Detective Patterson was investigating, or he's in the back of the cop car, kind of choking him, not really punching him, but like, where's Lisa? Where is she? She's dead. So you get back to that scene, and he's like, how did you know that Lisa's dead? And he's like, well, I dug the hole. And so he basically said that Knuckles, again, just initiated the kidnapping because, he's working at the Adams house as a handyman, heard that Lisa was coming back in town, knew she was married to a rich person. Maybe if he kidnapped this girl, took her to this like moderate criminals, they could have make ransom money. And so Frank hearsay from Frank spoken by Knuckles is that Frank was certainly gonna have Knuckles kill Lisa, and then Knuckles suspected Frank would kill him. So Knuckles just ran from Frank, and so Knuckles thinks that Lisa would be in this hole behind his house. So he tells Detective Patterson that Lisa will be in the hole behind his house. Detective Patterson gets there, and this is after all the explosion, the cops everywhere, kind of like the big resolution to any like cop chase down all the cops, and the ambulance is there, they're doing the investigation, cleaning up the scene. And Detective Patterson goes back behind the house, has not told Will what Knuckles told him. Finds the hole, sees a bunch of like metal sheeting over it, opens it up, and there's no body in there. And so there's a relief from Detective Patterson, and Will's walking around just the area, Lisa, and finds an old shed. She's tied up in there and frees her. And so Lisa is found alive, and they basically, Will does not get arrested. There's a final scene where they're at the parents' house, and Detective Patterson comes up and is like, "Hey, Will, we did some autopsies on the remains. A couple of dudes died with some bullets. So we're just gonna act like that never happened." And they shake hands, and that's really the resolution. And then Lisa invites Will into the Addams family house. The Addams family, dude. But as a resolution to, the beginning of the movie where they're want to go on a break and going through a traumatic event and now reignite their love. So again, nothing profoundly unique about the writing. I thought the tonality of the piece matched the themes. I thought it was decently well done. I like Gerard Butler. And a little action flick for an hour and 30 minutes, action drama. I thought it was a good piece. So I gave it a B+. So major themes. I told you we would have a major theme. If you ever listened to a rap song, if you ever sold some drugs, you know what the theme is. Don't get caught slipping at the gas station. Lisa was in fact caught slipping at the gas station. So that's really the biggest major theme from here. Again, rather run through plot development, but again, an action flick, I can go for it. I liked it. But you also get one more little tidbit again. The motivation, as it literally just seems to be, Detective Patterson says, he thinks it was just a kind of like a crime of opportunity. Maybe Oscar, because Oscar plays dumb throughout the movie. You don't really get his motivations, but Detective Patterson conjectures that maybe Oscar, found out what Knuckles was doing on improv, kind of knew the Frank criminality group, and was like, I'm gonna get my head in here and get some ransom money myself. So that's really it. I don't know if it was a Netflix original, but certainly hosted on Netflix. So if you want to watch it, that's what my thoughts are. So, thank you for watching my movie review of Last Seen Alive. See you on the next one.